to our next symbol here. For those of you who are new, my name's Ethan. Make sure to check out my website, ethanwrenn.com. From there, you can find links to all my various socials. We are currently live on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure to follow or subscribe if you'd like to be notified when we go live next. We got a lot lined up today to talk about, so make sure to stay tuned. All right, so what's the next symbol we are going to be talking about today? It's actually an index or ETF. Let's pull this up. This is the iShares USA Momentum Factor ETF, represented with symbol MTUM, MTUM, for momentum. This is motion. This is motion, guys. This is motion. So what are some of the things we like about the iShares USA Momentum Factor ETF? Well, as you can see here, just taking a quick glance at the price history of this product, ever since its conception, it has only shown signs of growth. It has never not shown a sign of really solid growth over periods of time. You can also kind of see that it has some sorts of correlation to the broader markets. So if broader markets are relatively oversold, this is relatively oversold. If broader markets are relatively overvalued, vice versa, right? So because markets are currently in an oversold territory, potentially a good value, this, as you can see, is also presenting a good value. What are some of the things we use to identify this? Well, something we refer to in every single one of the technical analysis I do here on this channel is the RSI. When the RSI is down, touching that 30, it's typically tells you that it's oversold or maybe potentially a good value if you wanted to purchase this stock. When the RSI is high in the sky and touching that 70 territory, this is typically a sign that the stock is over-purchased and potentially overvalued, and maybe not the best time to be buying this stock. Let's quickly mark through some of the time periods where the RSI was low. All right. All right. So one of the first things that brought this symbol to my attention was currently the RSI touching down at the bottom there, presenting potentially a good entry point, right? When's the last time that the RSI was as low as it is currently? Well, if we look all the way back to March 2020, the RSI touched down at that 30. What happened after that? This ETF, again, this is an ETF, not a singular company, proceeded to run as much as at 106.5%. Don't forget the 0.5. It's absolutely massive, especially for an ETF, right? So this is something that gives you broad exposure to United States-based assets. It's not, again, just one company. So you're well diversified across the United States when you buy a product such as this. So to gain as much as 106% in a singular run, really without any pullbacks, this is a pretty direct route. That's very desirable, right? The time before that the RSI was as low as it is currently would be December 2018, where this symbol proceeded to run as much as 45%, also very uninterrupted. Awesome. And the time before that the RSI was as low as it is currently would be in 2016. This symbol ran as much as 82.5%. Absolutely massive. So for those of you who are trying to build a diverse portfolio but maybe don't want to go through all the individual stock picking, this is a great way to diversify assets across a wide range of U.S. companies. Let me pull up the holdings for this specific ETF so we can go through what are some of the companies that this symbol represents. As you can see here, we'll put it right here. As you can see, the number one holding by the iShares US Momentum Factor ETF is Apple with a 5% distribution. Microsoft, ExxonMobil, United Health Group, Tesla, Nvidia. Nvidia has been doing so well lately, so well. Johnson & Johnson, Chevron, Eli Lilly and Co, and JP Morgan. So as you can see, that's actually that's a really good portfolio for a new or up and coming investor to have, right? These are all names that you've heard of, and it's not very like sector focused. It's very well distributed between technology, energy, healthcare, all the banking, all these different things. So I highly enjoy this specific ETF. Another thing to mention is this ETF does have a dividend of 1.85%. That is very respectable, very respectable. It's probably more than you'd expect to get out of your S&P, DIA, or QQQ, but not by much. It's basically the same. I think there's a sector breakdown here. Yeah, so if I scroll up here, you can see the sector breakdown and the distribution throughout the ETF. It's right there on screen. And those are just some of the reasons that I really enjoy the Momentum Factor ETF. And then I think I mentioned everything that I'd like to mention about this specific symbol. Before we go on to the next one, I just want to point out, if you guys are new, I do have a website. Go check it out. And on the website, we have a blog. It's quickly becoming one of my primary outlets. So as you can see here, if you come to my website at the top, there's a blog section. Click it, it'll bring you in here. There's a bunch of different articles about finance, technology, web hosting, fashion, gaming. So make sure to go check that out. You could click into some of these. It's also how you can access my Discord right from the website here. You could sign in. Videos, information about the products, and you could do all of that. So on to our next product.